There are multiple observers this game, so that is why we are not done yet, because I am actually completely loaded. ToXSiK is completely loaded. Crazed is completely loaded. Someone's not completely loaded. So I cannot really do any. Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright. So here we go into game number 1, and whoa, that was really weird. We're going to be spawning right on top of the red Zerg. From oGaming, it is ToXSiK. And over on the top right hand corner we have the blue Protoss. It is LaGCrazed. Now, as his name is Crazed, will he be doing some sort of weird unorthodox build, as those are always the coolest to see? Now, ToXSiK probably going to be going for the 15 opening. And by 15 I mean like 15 hatchery, 15 pool. Going to be doing the extractor trick to get that extra drone out. Crazed going to be going for a 9 scout as well. It is what you normally do on a Forge Fast Expand. And the probe is now arriving for Crazed. ToXSiK just getting up. He is arriving at 14 now. Crazed saying that his hands are extremely cold at the moment. I know my fingers are pretty cold right now. Maybe he lives in one of the northern countries like myself and just has this problem. And now we do see that Crazed going to be going for the probe of blockage. It's one of the many blocking techniques that us Protosses have in our arsenal to try and stop a Zerg from getting the natural expansion right away. We do see it's going to be spawning pool at 15 and then a 16 hatchery, but no, it's going to be delayed even further, as ToXSiK's just going to have to go straight to the third. Not even going to care about the natural. And as Believe is saying in there, I like this from ToXSiK. If there is 2B, it's good too. So really, ToXSiK, he can just get the spawning pool, make a few Zerglings, get rid of the probe, and then get a fast 3 bases. So it's so hard to concentrate when there's tons of people going and talking in the chat, and it's just so weird because you're trying to read them, but you're also trying to talk, and it's just so awkward, especially if they're saying the exact same thing as you. But anyways, back to the game now, as they finally have stopped typing into the chat. ToXSiK getting rid of that probe there, has his expansion going up. Crazed going Forge to Cannon, then Gateway, or no, Forge, Gateway, then Cannon. The Nexus is close to finishing. Expansion is up for ToXSiK now, and a third base at the natural is now going up, and this queen's just going to slowly waddle its way over there. And it is slowly walking over there, and it is now arriving at this base, now arriving on creep, so it is all good. So ToXSiK going to be going to that third base now, and of course it's going to be a gasless fast 3 bases. Crazed going to be getting the +1 ground weapons extremely early before even getting his cybernetics core. He does have the 2 gas geysers already, not getting his 3rd just yet. Warp Gate Research getting chrono boosted at the moment, so will he be trying to go for some sort of 4 gate or 5 gate cheese earlier on? As on Daybreak, really the best power position would be right there. You can warp to the low ground below this, and even just warp up here, and then it's a very quick walk into the third. And the third has such a wide open choke that it's very hard as a Zerg to protect it all. As really, you're going to be more focused on your natural instead of your third, because the natural is closer to your main base. Toxic is getting his Roach Horn that is much better, especially if there is some sort of early cheese, which it does look like there might be, as there are 3 more gateways going up in the main for Crazed at the moment. And +1 ground weapons is very close to finishing. Warp Gate has been chrono boosted a bit out, so the Roaches will just be able to defend so much better than pure Zergling would be able to, especially when the force fields start coming out. And now Crazed with his early Zealot and Stalker are arriving right now. And the Queen is getting attacked right now by the Stalker and the Zealot. And now some more Zerglings of Toxic have just arrived. It looks like they'll be able to clean this up now. And a Proxy Pylon is going down. Will Toxic be able to see it? So far he cannot. The Proxy Pylon is very close to finishing. Warp Gate has just finished, and there are 4 gates now. The Robotic Facility about to finish up as well. And what I think Crazed might want to do is, with the Robotics Facility, just get a Warp Prism. It will allow you to do just more with this 4-gate pressure. But no, it looks like he's going to be going for that Immortal and getting +1 ground armor as well. And now 3 Zealots and a Stalker are here. There are 2 Roaches out already, and they can just do so much damage versus these Zealots. But really, if there are more Zealots, the Roaches won't be able to do enough damage to kill them off. The Stalker is really close to dying. But there are a lot of Roaches now compared to the forces of Crazed. And it looks like Toxic might be able to clean this up. Maybe. So far it looks like Crazed will have to back off. Let's just take a look at the resources lost tab. So 631 resources lost. It's not the best amount of damage that Crazed could have done with this, but it is acceptable. It still did do damage. And Toxic was kept on his toes, had to make a lot more units than drones. Toxic now going to be getting his macro hatch and getting the Galil reconstitution upgrade. And Toxic still just going to be staying at the 3rd of Crazed at the moment, just going to be blocking it off with some creep with a Zergling. He really does not want to get, really doesn't want his Protoss opponent to get that 3rd base. The 3rd Immortal is on the way, and when that 3rd Immortal comes out, it's going to be so much easier for Crazed, so long as he can get his force fields hit, and just doesn't get unlucky with his Immortals. Most likely that one stuck at the front of his army instead of the back. And now we do see a Warp Prism coming out right now. So that'll help a lot with the Warpins. 4 more gateways going down as well. And Crazed is moving along the map right now. He has 3 Immortals at the moment, 4 Stalkers, a few Zealots, and a lot of Sentries, so that'll help a lot. Ventral Sacs, Burrow, and +1 missile attacks, as well as Metabolic Boost now is getting researched. And then Proxy Pylon over on the top towards the 4th base of Toxic is getting warped in right now. There are a ton of Roaches. Force fields do go down, and Toxic will be forced to pull back, as he cannot attack into that right now, as he just can't get the large concave that he needs. Those force fields just blocking it off so much. Proxy Pylons all along the top side of the map, and now the Warp Prism is getting... Was it canceled? The Warp Prism is out. Where is the Warp Prism? The Warp Prism's in the main right now, and it's going to be warping in 4 Zealots to try and attack the Roach Horns. A smart decision, because if Toxic cannot make any more Roaches, it's going to be so hard to defend, as Zerglings just can't do the amount of damage that Toxic would need for this. But it looks like the Zealots will get cleaned up before the Roach Horn can fall. It's going to start bleeding, but it will be alive enough. And now the large Roach army is going into Crazed's forces, and some nice force fields will section them off in half. But Crazed, does he have the amount of DPS that he needs? The force fields will wear off now. Crazed will be stepping down that ramp. And these Roaches and Zerglings, they're up here on the top of the ramp. Crazed just waiting down there. There are actually a ton of roaches. toXSiK actually maxed out at the moment, and he's going to go for a nice force field. Going to be trapping a lot of the roaches up on that ramp. And toXSiK's just going to back off, and he's just going to re-max. Going to be taking this properly. He says on the Skype chat, always trying to think of ways to get rid of Sentry Immortal. And a lot of the players on oGaming do agree, just the right flank, the right position is what you need. And toXSiK's just really trying to look for that. Doesn't want to overextend too much and lose everything. And it looks like Crazed's pressure will be ending now as he is pulling back. He's getting a robotics bay as well. Still not with a third base yet. Probably wants to get it soon. Both players with an enormous bank at the moment of toXSiK at like 2,000 minerals and Crazed at 1,000 minerals. So a large bank for both of our players at the moment. toXSiK getting his infestation pit now over in his main base. Probably should be getting the 2-1 upgrade soon, as he really just has the ability to do that. Oh, and all these overlords are filled up at the moment. We have the roaches. So it's going to be a doom drop of roaches coming out of toXSiK. Will they be effective? Will they be able to come around the side and not get hit directly by Crazed's army? And toXSiK's overlords are going in. Crazed is at the natural. He has a Colossus out at the moment. The overlords are now arriving. They're on top of that doodad over there. And are now arriving for the third base. Will they be going straight into the natural? Probably not the best decision. Good idea. toXSiK going to the third. Going to be dropping them all down now. All of them just enough to take this out. And there are just so many roaches now. A force field going down. Now some good force fields going down to try and stop the roaches. But there's just so many roaches in the overlords left. And the Nexus does go down. Not even a cancel. It goes down. But it looks like Crazed will be able to push this roach force away. That one Colossus really helping. It's actually fairly close to dying. toXSiK really should try and see if he can target it down, but it won't be effective. toXSiK in a bit of a supply deficit, but it doesn't matter. He is getting his fourth base. He's getting pathogen glands. He's getting 1-1 for melee, and he's getting his fire and some more gases. Crazed now going to be moving out, seeing as he does have a bit of a force advantage. Let's just take a look. It is very much in his favor by about 20. Oh, look at that. toXSiK bouncing up right away as he is a Zerg. So he can just produce so many units at a time. The Colossus production is a little bit short in where it probably should be. But it still looks to be enough, as he was able to hold off that pure roach force from earlier. And it looks like there was a Zealot drop over in the main. Not really being able to do much. Let's just take a look. Workers killed 14 this game. Pretty good. And now some more Zealots getting warped in over by the third. But all of toXSIK's forces are actually already there to handle it. So those Zealots won't be able to do anything. And now a Soccer getting warped in at the fourth. Going to try picking away at this hatchery. toXSIK going to be taking out that proxy pylon up there, and now the main force of Crazed is arriving at the fourth base. There are a lot of sentries with full energy right now. The Colossus is actually having very little real health, but the shields are on full, and the fourth does go down very swiftly. And now Crazed is heading over towards the fourth base. All of the roaches and Zerglings are here. The Overlords also here. The Infestors did just come out. Oh no, they're going right to the front of Crazed's army. Nice force field, going to be stopping the entire force of toXSIK from getting there. More great force fields going down, and all of those Infestors got taken out beforehand as they just went to the front, and now the Corruptor's actually doing so much damage. One Colossus goes down, the second Colossus very close to going down, and now it's just Stalkers and a few Immortals, and the Sentries have enough energy. More force fields are going down, and it looks like toXSIK's in a pretty rough position right now. As Crazed, his Immortals just doing so much damage versus the Roaches, and those Sentries just were able to have great force fields. And now Crazed is moving into the natural. All the drones are getting pulled. Where are they going? Some more force fields going down. Aggressive blink towards these units. Going to be picking off more roaches, and all of them are going towards the third base of Crazed. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a counterattack. But Crazed just has so many stalkers and essentially just still have so much energy. Toxic looks like he's in a horrible position. And while the third base did just get taken out, the Colossus is here. It's going to get attacked very quickly by the Corruptors and go down. And, oh, look at this Toxic going to be getting a base over on the bottom right corner. All of Crazed's units are actually a little bit stuck. And now all of these units, will they be able to possibly get rid of Crazed's bases? Probably not. It's looking pretty bad for Toxic right now. There are still a ton of sentries. These Overlords just being so good at blocking the real view of everything. And Crazed going to be taking game number 1. Toxic going to be leaving. He played a great game, but it just wasn't enough.